CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Our Toy Mountain campaign is in the final countdown. There's a live shot. There is still time to donate to help us bring joy to families right across the region this holiday season. Thanks for joining us. We only have 1 week left to help make the holidays bright for families in need across Simcoe County and Muskoka, and it's all hands on deck as we try to build our biggest toy mountain yet. Let's go ahead to CTV's Luke Samard. He joins us live tonight here in Barrie. That's where you can go and drop off donations before time runs out. Luke, how's it feeling out there?
Yeah, Sarah, it's a little bit chilly out here this evening, except we are here at the Peggy Hill team office, just at Huronia Big Boy Point. It is the last week of our Toy Mountain campaign, and we are hitting the ground running. So many people have already stopped by the Peggy Hill team office here to drop off some toys as we continue to build that Toy Mountain. We have our radio partners here, Pure Country 106 along with Bounce 104.1, and of course the Access Storage Van is here as well to collect all the gifts to bring to the Simcoe Muskoka family connections to celebrate and help kids have the Christmas that they deserve. Now, we will be here until 7 p.m. tonight right here at the Peggy Hill team office, beating the cold. We're having some fun as well. We will hear from Peggy a little bit later on in the show, as well as Steph from Bounce 104. And now, I did already make a friend, Sarah, believe it or not, friend Jason, who's here. He made some donations. KC donated this hat to him as well last year. Now we're going to send it back to the station, and there's only one way to do that, right, Jason? So we're going to go 3, 2, 1, Toy Mountain! And we'll send it back to the station to Sarah.
Okay, to Australia now. It's the aftermath of that deadly massacre that targeted the country's Jewish community. 15 people were killed and more than 36 are in hospital. CTV's Scott Hurst brings us the latest.
A devastating tragedy. A father and son accused of killing 15 people from as young as 10 to 87 years old. The target was a Jewish holiday celebration at a popular Australian beach where hundreds had gathered to celebrate the beginning of Hanukkah. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called it an act of anti-Semitic terrorism. 15 people were killed. The dead included a 10-year-old girl, a rabbi, and a Holocaust survivor. Dozens of others were injured, some seriously. Liberal MP Anthony Housefather shared his thoughts as reaction from the Jewish community at home and around the world continues to come in.
Like most Jewish Canadians, I wish I could say I was shocked, but I'm not shocked. I'm horrified, I'm devastated, I'm angry. But I think that Jews across the world have seen public shootings in the United States in both DC and Colorado. We saw what happened at the synagogue in Manchester. And we know that, unfortunately, to be Jewish is to be a target in far greater numbers than the general population.
The suspects have been identified as a 50-year-old father who was killed during the attack and his 24-year-old son. He was wounded and is currently in hospital, reportedly in a coma. The Australian government on Monday, a day after the shooting, proposed tougher new gun laws amid criticism that officials aren't taking seriously enough a string of anti-Semitic attacks in that country. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And Sunday's tragedy in Australia has sent shockwaves through the Jewish communities right around the world, and that includes here at home. CTV's Mike Lang brings us more on how our community is paying tribute.
Sarah, just like with Jewish communities across the world, the beginning of Hanukkah was celebrated here in Barrie and Innisfil with heavy hearts, but also resilience, as they say they're determined to observe the holiday through joy instead of fear.
The terrorists chose to do this on Hanukkah, and they chose to do this at a public menorah lighting. To me, it seems clear that their intention was to instill fear.
Rabbi Zev Kaplan from Chabad Innisfil with a strong message.
Our most natural response is that this year's Hanukkah celebrations are not only going to continue, but we are going to increase and do everything in a greater measure.
Rabbi Kaplan will be leading a ceremony to light candles for the second night of Hanukkah tonight at Innisfil Town Square. Locals and city officials are expected to gather in large numbers at that event and a ceremony taking place at Barrie City Hall. Mayor Alex Nuttall saying anti-Semitism has to stop.
As a city, we stand beside those who are targeted by terrorism, those who are targeted by hate. And certainly that's the message we'll be giving tonight.
In a social media statement, MPP Andrea Kanjan shared her solidarity with the victims and Jewish communities across the world, adding, in part, "We must have zero tolerance for the rising tide of anti-Semitism. I join leaders in reaffirming our absolute commitment to confronting this hatred wherever it rears its head." MP John Brassard added online that light will always prevail over darkness. On this difficult day, may the lights of Hanukkah radiate in communities and hearts in Barrie and Innisfil, across Canada and around the world. From an enforcement standpoint, South Simcoe Police confirmed they will be upping patrols around Hanukkah ceremonies and places of worship.
Obviously, this is a terrible event that's taken place, across a long distance from Innisfil, but the impact is felt by many in our community, and it's important that people do feel safe.
Barrie police say that they will be actively attending and patrolling the city's ceremony.
Added security measures are going to be at these events, of course, but our message to the terrorists has to be that we are not going to be defeated and we are going to be victorious.
The Innisfil ceremony already got underway, and the Barrie ceremony is in the midst of getting started here at City Hall. For now, I'm Mike Lang. Sarah, I'll send it back to you.
Premier Doug Ford is among the Canadian political leaders condemning the shooting in Australia and expressing solidarity with the Jewish community.
We need to come together to support our Jewish friends and neighbors as they grieve and to help them feel safe in our communities. I was glad to see Hanukkah celebrations continue yesterday, despite the terrible tragedy, and I was glad to see that police services have been taking this threat very seriously, and have increased security near Jewish community organizations. I look forward to joining in Hanukkah celebrations over the next few days, and I encourage everyone to do the same and to stand with our Jewish community against hate and anti-Semitism.
The majority of Hanukkah celebrations across the province will go ahead as planned, with many also including a memorial and tribute for the victims. After a tumultuous 72 hours, the water supply has now been fully restored in Collingwood after a devastating water main break on Friday. Here's CTV's Rob Cooper with more on what happened and how it impacted both people that live and work in the town.
A boil water advisory went into effect in Collingwood on Friday after a major water main break at this intersection by Hume Street and Pretty River Parkway. People in town say they knew something was wrong.
As soon as it happened, I was doing dishes and I thought maybe one of my pipes exploded downstairs. So with the lack of water pressure, so I went down and everything was okay. And then, watching the social media and found out what the problem was.
That problem was widespread and forced the entire town into a boil water advisory. The exact cause of the break is still unknown, but Collingwood's mayor says there were 3 significant water puddles visible where the water main broke.
As soon as the break happened, our water pressure dropped. And so the water in the water tower went down, and it affected another water pumping station.
The mayor says when the pressure goes down, there are concerns groundwater could seep in. The health unit was contacted, and homeowners and businesses were immediately told to avoid all water use.
Actually, it was really bad because that was our busiest weekend. We had a lot of reservations, and we had to cancel because about the boiling water advisory.
That advisory was lifted across the board by noon today. Affected businesses, schools, and homeowners reassured the water was safe and they were allowed once again to consume it. There's no word yet on how much damage was caused or how much was lost by businesses.
Well, I had to buy cases of bottles of water, and I bought some cases for my friends too.
I guess you realize how dependent we are, Sal, on water.
That's right, yeah.
The water plant in Collingwood is now fully operational. The boil water advisory has been lifted. The health unit wants business owners and residents in the southern and eastern parts of Collingwood to take a number of steps before using their water again. To see a complete list of those requirements, simply go to our website or the health unit's website. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Collingwood.
It is 8 minutes past 6 and time to say good evening to Casey Colby. How's it going, Casey?
Good evening. Very good. Thank you. Very good. We're here at Peggy Hills Realtor Center. And, of course, it's all about Toy Mountain. You met Luke a little earlier in the show and some of his friends. And, yes, a chilly one out this evening. No big surprise there. We're not being pummeled with snow or are we? I want to draw your attention to our Weather Watch this morning, Sport. And as you take a look at this, yes, northern part of our viewing area, Muskoka Parish Sound, it's snow squall is what they're dealing with, a snow squall warning in effect. And yes, anywhere from 5 to 15 centimeters of snow in through this evening. Let's continue on with our first look at the forecast, brought to you by our friends at Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. -6 in Barrie right now as we speak. The winds are out of the southwest, 11 kilometers an hour, though gusts as high as about 40 a little later on. This is the temperature outside your door as we speak. -10 in Mount Forest. -9 in Collingwood, -3 in Parry Sound, -6 in Gravenhurst, and give us one more, how about -7 in Newmarket? Here we go. This is a quick look at the radar satellite images, and yeah, that would certainly be looking like snow squalls, wouldn't it? And the northern part of our viewing area is getting whacked with it right now. And as for the rest of us, well, it's a chilly one. It's a long way from Victoria, BC, where today, temperature 17 degrees today. We're warming up. Coming up in a few minutes' time, we'll let you know how mild we're going to get. All that in a few minutes' time. Back to Sarah.
The story we're about to tell involves 3 animal sanctuaries spanning 2 countries with a single mission, one of compassion and the hope to create change. It's a story about exotic animals, some of which are endangered, and more specifically, a group of African lions brought to our region from a life of questionable captivity, their future at times unknown. We call this series Eyes in the Darkness, the hidden cost of roadside zoos, and this is part 1. Head out for the day with your family to look at some animals at what seems like a small zoo. But what happens behind the closed doors at what's known as a roadside zoo? Unimaginable.
What we see in those facilities stays with you forever.
Rebecca Aldworth and Humane World for Animals Canada are no stranger to this Quebec-based facility. The team spearheaded the largest seizure of zoo animals in Canadian history 6 years ago.
This is without a doubt the most complex animal rescue we've ever undertaken in Canada. As of today, Humane Society International is assuming the care of more than 100 wild and exotic animals comprising dozens of different species.
It ended up being more than 250 animals that were seized. The owner, Norman Chahan, had received fines from the province in the past and was on the radar of the Montreal SPCA.
We did seize 2 live alpacas who were emaciated and at imminent risk of death, according to the veterinarian, as well as 4 deceased animals, 2 tigers and 2 species of birds.
Then a year later at St. Edouard Zoo.
This is the first time in Canada that a zoo owner is facing criminal animal cruelty charges.
The veterinarian who was accompanying us, who has had over 15 years of experience working with both professional and amateur zoological facilities, she told us that this was by far the worst case she had ever seen in her whole career.
But the federal charge of animal cruelty dropped after Chahan pleaded guilty to lesser violations. He was fined $6,800 and banned from owning exotic animals for 5 years.
3 lemurs who suffered such severe frostbite that their fingers fell off, and the owner refused to treat them or have them euthanized because he could still breed them.
Fast forward to January of 2025. Another for-profit roadside zoo operating on the same property went bankrupt, and the land deferred back to Chahan, along with these 7 lions.
It was devastating for us to have gone in the first time, to have committed the just massive resources, both human and financial, it took to shut that roadside zoo down and to find homes, forever homes for these animals throughout North America. And to know that he just circumvented everything that had happened.
Animal law advocacy organization Animal Justice states that Canada has some of the worst animal protection laws in the developed world.
When I walked into that broken down, dank, barren, dark enclosure that these lions were in, and I saw them confined to tiny spaces, and that's where they were spending their winter, in, you know, an 8x10 chain link surrounded concrete room with nothing. They were just alone in the dark and waiting for help. I walked in there and I saw that, and I knew there was no way that we could walk away. It came to light that the owner of this facility was considering euthanizing the lions and or selling them to a known animal abuser in the United States.
And it didn't take long for word to catch wind south of the border, all the way to Minnesota.
There was somebody in the U.S. looking to purchase these lions, and that's how we got involved, because we obviously didn't want them to go to one concerning situation to another. We wanted them to be able to live out their lives at accredited sanctuaries and no longer contribute to the surplus, which we call the captive wildlife crisis.
There we go, beautiful. Yep, all good.
When you're transporting an endangered animal, you have to obtain a permit to do so. But that permit goes through multiple government processes, and it's time intensive to get. So that's why we had to have a temporary home in Canada while we waited for those permits.
Maybe another hand. Hold on. You got it?
That home didn't exist in Canada. There were no zoos that were able to take these animals even temporarily. There was no space for them anywhere. So we had to construct a facility from the ground up, and that's where Aspen Valley came in.
And the clock was ticking. It was the dead of winter, 3 hours north of Toronto, and the Muskoka-based nonprofit needed to build an entirely new space to become the first of its kind sanctuary in Canada to bring these innocent animals one step closer to salvation. But the painful journey far from over, and the greater issue still unaddressed. Now, you can follow our series on the CTV Barrie website. You can also find in-depth articles there. We'll have the second part of the Eyes in the Darkness series tomorrow night at 6. A bail review decision is now in for one of the 5 men charged in connection with a violent attack that left a man bound and beaten inside an abandoned Orillia gas station. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports.
Justice Susan Healy has granted 63-year-old Surjit Singh Bains his release on a $250,000 bail pledge by his sons and wife, who left the Barrie courthouse Monday, nearly 3 months after Bains was taken to jail, accused of attempted murder and kidnapping charges, and was first denied bail in October due to an insufficient plan of release.
It was on the material change. She was very impressed with the sureties, with the plan, the strictness of the plan, and as I said, it's the right decision today.
Bains will be under strict house arrest conditions, including GPS ankle monitoring. Bains is also banned from having electronic devices on him unless under the supervision of his sureties. The 63-year-old from Woodbridge is accused of being one of 5 men from the GTA. Police say kidnapped, bound, and tortured a Mississauga man who was found brutally beaten inside an abandoned Orillia gas station in late September. Bains is now one of 3 men released from custody, along with 30-year-old Baltesh Sandhu and 41-year-old Dwayne Pennant, both of Brampton. 2 others, 31-year-old Manraj Mann and 51-year-old Gurji Anthony Gorburn, remain behind bars tonight. The accused are all charged with attempted murder and kidnapping, uttering death threats, weapons charges, forcible confinement, and breaking and entering to commit an indictable offense. Pennant was released last month to 3 sureties who pledged a total of $125,000 under full house arrest with a GPS ankle monitor. Sandhu with similar conditions on a $250,000 pledge. Mann and Gorburn were denied bail in special hearings and are scheduled to return to court later this month. Provincial police said at the time of their arrests, investigators responded to reports of a suspicious vehicle and individuals wearing masks near an abandoned building at the corner of Colborne and Peter Streets. A publication ban prevents any evidence heard in court from being revealed. Once outfitted with his GPS ankle monitor in jail, Bains will join Sandhu and Pennant in a virtual Orillia courtroom early in the new year. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
Now to an update in the case of the 3 Scottish men accused in the death of Owen Sound restaurant owner Sharif Rahman. 25-year-old Robert Evans Jr. appeared in court by video from jail this morning after being extradited from the UK along with his father and uncle on December 11th. He's charged with manslaughter in the killing of 44-year-old Rahman in August of 2023 when police allege he punched Rahman, causing him to fall to the sidewalk and strike his head, dying a week later in hospital. Evans Jr.'s father and uncle are alleged to have have helped him flee the country hours later. They made their first court appearance on Friday, each charged with accessory after the fact. The allegations against all three men have not been tested in court. Today, Premier Doug Ford announced the launch of his government's Destination Niagara strategy, which aims to position the region as a global tourism destination.
Niagara has the potential to be a true tourism powerhouse and a world-class destination that drives Ontario's economy and keep tens of thousands of Ontario workers on the job. And we're doing everything we can to unlock that potential. With tariffs and economic uncertainty taking direct aim at our economy, targeting Ontario workers and businesses is more important than ever that we support new opportunities for workers and attract new jobs and investments.
The strategy, which will see billions invested into the region, aims to double its tourism impact. Niagara region currently generates $3 billion for Ontario's GDP each year. Money provided by the province will go to the arts, tourism, and transit infrastructure. Now, we do have some good news. If you're looking to spend some time outdoors, 2 City of Barrie outdoor rinks are now open. The final touches were being done at the Wildwire Park Community Ice Rink. That's along the waterfront. The artificial ice surface meant for hockey opened for the season this afternoon. It joins Circle at the Centre Ice Rink down at City Hall.
We're just hoping that everybody comes and uses them. Like we have Shinny downtown. We have skates, the pleasure skating here. So it's pretty busy on most afternoons, and once more people realize that, you know, when it stops snowing, they can come out and go skating.
Both the skating surface at City Hall and the rink at Wildwire Park are open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., weather permitting. Always a ton of fun. Now, Barrie Colts forward Emil Hemming is heading back to the world stage after being selected to represent Finland at this year's World Junior Tournament. It'll be the 3rd time Hemming has been chosen to skate for Team Finland. Last year, the Finns made an impressive run all the way to the gold medal game, falling just short of a championship. Now, Hemming and his teammates are determined to turn that experience into motivation, looking to build on the momentum and bring Finland back into the title conversation.
We got a lot of returnees from last year, so yeah, I think we know from the last year that we want the gold now, and yeah, you know, fix all the things that went wrong in the finals and do those better. But I don't think we have to change anything particular. I just feel like just play our game, you know, be strong with the puck, shoot a lot.
Hemming will go head-to-head with his Colts teammates Cole Baudouin and Keyshawn Aitchison on New Year's Eve. That's when Finland takes on Team Canada. Always fun to follow the lads. Coming up here on CTV Barrie, showing some love to the community they call home, how Barrie-based businesses are giving back to a local food bank. Plus, the story behind this mural goes far beyond the brush strokes, how it honors lives lost in the Lapu Lapu Festival tragedy in Vancouver. You're watching CTV News Barrie. It was a busy one. First up, a show of solidarity amongst the Filipino community at a local art studio in Barrie. It was for a mural painting workshop.
I'm also introducing one way of making mural using affordable fabrics. Everybody can put their cultural sign or personal zodiac sign or symbol. I'm not more particular about how to make the mural, but to create a space to unite different people from different culture or from different organization.
It's amazing to meet Bird as well, just because he did a presentation in the beginning, and to see all of his work and his accolades and how he's been all over the world and really just touched so many people and has done art therapy. It's just very inspiring for me as a person who has a studio here in Barrie.
Diversity is very important nowadays, so that we can connect with each other from different community and from different nationality.
The event was led by renowned Vancouver artist known as Bert, who's been using his art as a form of healing following the Lapu Lapu Festival tragedy back in April. Burt plans to share the completed mural with Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall and the city later this week to mark International Migrants Day. A Barrie-based kitchen renovations company held its first ever Fill the Fleet food drive on Saturday in Innisfil.
We're going to be filling all of our fleet of vehicles with as much non-perishable foods as we can. Peanut butter, cereal, feminine products, anything that you guys could spare on the shelves that is something we can give back to the community, we'll make sure it gets there for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, brother.
There is a lot of people that are less fortunate than us, so any way we can help, greatly appreciated.
I've got hundreds of people that have come, maybe even over 1,000 at this point. The local community here is being way more responsive than we expect. We expected this really good community to be here and help out, but I can say there's so many people that are helping this happen here, and we're going to run out of space soon. It's awesome.
Let's Face It Kitchens and Renovations was able to fill all 7 of their company vehicles with non-perishable food items, which will be delivered to food banks in Barrie and Innisfil this week, as well as shelters across the region. And more pallets of food are headed to the Barrie Food Bank thanks to generous donations from community members.
We're going to be donating over 2 tons of food. I hope it goes to about 3,000 families. I really want to thank my community and my customers to give me this opportunity, because last year when I got on camera, I told them, every car comes through my door, I'm going to donate $1. And the response was overwhelming. And I'm going to keep grow the donations as well. Next year, the target will be 4 tons.
This is a great example what a food drive should look like, and we are so thankful, and we invite everybody to close the gap and help us doing this kind of events.
This is the time we need to make sure our neighbors, our friends, and everybody in our community are well-fed and happy in the spirit of Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Along with customer donations, several businesses around the region pitched in this year, including A1 Cash and Carry in Barrie. Pet lovers came together in Midland for the annual Crama Cruiser event at Pet Value. Organizers gathered donations to stuff a Georgian Bay OPP vehicle with pet food to support local food banks that help people with animals in need. And pet toys will go to animals in the care at the Ontario SPCA Midland and District Animal Centre. The event also raised awareness for the OSPCA's Home for the Holidays campaign, where 48 animals are looking to find a home before December 24th. The Barrie Royals Basketball Club made a holiday stop at the CTV studio with their annual donation to Toy Mountain. The local basketball organization arrived with 2 carloads of toys collected this past few weeks from all age groups across the club.
This is something the Barrie Royals wanted to do this season because they really want to support the community and help grow and support kids who can't get toys. I think it's really great that we can change somebody's Christmas, and it's really good that we can support it for people who can't.
Over 250 families were able to contribute to make a donation and help give back to the community. Our Toy Mountain push is on, and Peggy Hill's team is right there with us. We'll hear from them in just a few minutes from our Toy Mountain live location, and that's, of course, where we find Casey.
That's right, Luke and Steph are playing with the toys here at Toy Mountain. There was just a big drop-off. Tell us who made the drop-off.
Angela.
Big shout out to Angela. Thank you very much for Toy Mountain. From everybody here and our Weather Watcher artiste, we'll have a look because James says rain on the way. White Christmas though, right, Case? Oh, right. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away passes to the Magic of Lights.
And it's our final week for donations for Toy Mountain.
So make sure you tune in weekdays from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
There are going to be a lot of sounds of celebrations coming out of this week's Picture This, because it's all about your baked goods. You outdid yourselves last year, so it's back by popular demand. Keep those coming. Picture This at ctv.ca. Let's head back out to KC. He, of course, is out collecting donations with the Toy Mountain team. Oh, Case, it looks like it feels cold.
Oh, no, it's lovely out here. It really is. John just drove by, friend of Peggy Hill, and made a donation, and he was in T-shirt. Oh, yeah, John. I like it. Thank you very much, John. And he's thinking warm thoughts, and I think that's what you have to do on an evening like this evening. We know it's going to get a little mild. How mild is it going to get? Well, let's let the weather forecast roll. And here we go, diving into the forecast, and we're starting off with the temperature outside your door. And as we speak, taking a look at the temperature, well, it's still -10 in Mount Forest. Looks like -7 in Algonquin Park where the Wild Things are. Holding on to -3 in Parry Sound and -9 in Collingwood. Shall we have a look and discuss the almanac for today? Well, indeed, yes. So -5, -13, that's the high, that's the low. 14 degrees in 2021 when we were doing Toy Mountain. Apparently, 14 degrees. Okay, sunrise, sunset. Grand total 8 hours and 51 minutes of daylight. And roll that forecast radar if you would, please. A little bit of snow in the area. Yeah, there's a little bit of snow in the area. How much? Well, the southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Shall we start there? Because there's a few other things in the area, too. In the southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe, overnight, some could see 2 to 4 centimeters of snow this evening and a wind chill value of -19. Now, not everybody gets 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. It's streamer-oriented. And then for tomorrow, cloudy skies, certainly on the Owen Sound area, mainly cloudy, so peaks of sunshine everywhere else. -2, -3 for the highs tomorrow. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill. -12 overnight. The winds, as mentioned, out of the southwest, 20 to 40 km. A few flurries kicking around, no set accumulation. And then -3 for tomorrow and a sun-cloud mix. Isn't that lovely indeed? Yes. Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton. This is where things start to become a little more complicated. -8, -11. There's a risk of freezing drizzle this evening, in addition to 5 to 10 centimeters of snow for some. For tomorrow, -1, -5, and cloudy skies, 40% chance of some flurries, and the risk of freezing drizzle continues tomorrow morning. Hey, you might get a peak of sunshine in the Gravenhurst area. It's still a 40% chance of flurries. Now that is tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this. Mild, you say? When is the mild weather? Well, Wednesday. Yeah, there you go. As mentioned, 60% chance of flurries and or a few showers, Simcoe County. And then Thursday, cloudy and, well, certainly rain during the day, 4 degrees. About 5 millimeters of rainfall expected. Snow into the evening, if it does stick around, precipitation-wise. And then Friday, 1 to 3 centimeters of snow. Heading into the weekend, and it looks like mixed precipitation under cloudy skies and a high of 0. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York Region. Cloudy skies, 40% chance of a rain-snow combination on the Wednesday. Thursday, at this point, calling for 5 millimeters of rainfall under cloudy skies in the evening. If the precipitation does stick around, should come down as snow, -7. Friday looks like a sun-cloud mix. 60% chance of a few flurries, about 1 to 3 centimeters, according to Environment Canada. And then Saturday arrives, and a 40% chance of mixed precipitation, high of 1. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton, have a look. And at this point, Wednesday, 60% chance of some mixed precipitation, 4 degrees on Thursday. During the day, 4 degrees. We're looking at some rain. The heaviest concentration of rain, 10 millimeters expected. And then -10 would certainly come down as flurry activity. Friday heading into the weekend, 60% chance of some flurries, 1 to 3 centimeters. And Saturday, cloudy skies, 60% chance of snow. So we miled up for a little while, and the precipitation continues to come. Sarah, back to you.
For 20 years now, CTV Barrie has been working with the community to collect donations, always this time of the year. And of course, the goal to build up a mountain of toys, all of that going to the Simcoe Muskoka District. Excuse me, why don't I leave it to the pros? Luke, you're teamed up with Peggy here tonight. Tell us all about it.
Yes, Sarah. Well, we are here at the Peggy Hill team office. And of course, for our Toy Mountain campaign, And man, is there a mountain of toys right here. And we are going to be joined by Peggy Hill herself this evening. So Peggy, come on in here.
Sarah.
Say hello to Sarah. She says hi back. What a great initiative. What a great campaign. Why is this something that you wanted to be a part of?
Well, this community made me, so I can't do enough as far as giving back. And I want people to realize how lucky we are to actually be here in this time of life. Because when I was growing up with very, very little, for one thing, my family, probably like many families, would never tell someone that they didn't have money to buy their kids gifts. I didn't even know about Christmas presents. And so the fact that we have all these organizations working so hard to give kids a Christmas, I mean, just think about what it does for them to know that strangers can show this kind of kindness. I mean, I don't know. How do you say anything more than that?
And what's it like, being able to make these donations? It's absolutely amazing to see what your team has put together here this holiday season.
Yeah, and we don't do it alone, obviously. Mm-hmm. The community is a very big part of this, and, we can't do enough. We really can't. So it's amazing.
It's amazing now. It's such a scene in here. What's one thing that you want the community to know as we kind of wrap up? We're in the finishing touches of this Toy Mountain campaign, and clearly the amount of toys here. There's no shortage of giving this holiday season.
No, there isn't. And you know what? If you can find it in your heart and in your wallet to be able to afford to give, I plead with you, please give to these kids, because they are our future, and we can create magical moments for them.
Well, magical moments will be made this holiday season thanks to yourself and your team here, Peggy. So thank you so much for joining us here this evening. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Always my pleasure. Bye, Sarah.
And of course, so Sarah, Peggy is saying bye to you as well. As we slowly wrap things up, we will be here until 7 p.m. outside of the Bounce 104 tent collecting donations. And of course, our Get Up and Go forecast will be coming up shortly, where you'll see the team start loading all of the gifts that we will receive to make sure families have a Christmas this holiday season. Sarah?
Wonderful to see Peggy so family-oriented and self-made. Now, we are not the only ones building a toy mountain. Our friends at CTV stations right across the country are working on theirs too, and a special contribution was made in Ottawa over the weekend. Let's take a look. It's Prime Minister Mark Carney and his wife Diana Fox-Carney dropping off toys to the CTV Ottawa team. My old stomping grounds. There they are. They hosted a secret Santa to collect donations as part of their efforts to help make sure that every child in their riding has a toy under the Christmas tree this holiday season. They too are a great group. Still to come, 'tis the season to turn tickets into holiday cheer. How parking fines are being swapped for donations in Orillia. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. Please do stay with us. Time now to recap our top stories. 63-year-old Surjit Singh Bains has been granted release on a $250,000 bail pledge by his sons and wife after he was taken to jail accused of attempted murder and kidnapping charges, and was first denied bail back in October due to an insufficient plan of release. People around the world are mourning after a deadly massacre targeted Australia's Jewish community on Sunday. 15 people were killed and more than 3 dozen are in hospital. The beginning of Hanukkah is being marked in Barrie and Innisfil with heavy hearts, but also resilience. People saying they are determined to observe the holiday through joy instead of fear. And the boil water advisory has been lifted for remaining affected areas in Collingwood. The amended advisory was issued on December 13th by the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit. Laboratory test results have confirmed that the water is free from contamination and is safe to drink. CTV's Toy Mountain campaign is in full swing tonight. It's been a tremendous year, showcasing the true meaning of the holidays to show love and compassion to those around you. Let's head back to Luke. He is certainly surrounded by love tonight. Luke.
And warmth, Sarah, as well. Steph from Bounce 104.1 gave me some feet warmers, so they are inside my shoes. We are trying our best to stay warm out here, right, Steph? Yeah, it's working. We're having fun. We're meeting so many wonderful people throughout the night here. Peggy Hill, we just spoke with her, but it's the people in the community that are coming out as well. We have seen a lot of donations tonight. How cool is it to just be a part of this and see the love really come in from the community?
It's so wonderful and so cool to see, so many people bringing armloads. Warren stopped by and he brought an armload and I was already blown away, and then he went back for 2 more and then a giant grocery bag full of things, and he was just like, it's good, and such thoughtful presents as well. You know, I saw a Light Bright today, a Jurassic Park cool Jeep thing, like all these different things that I'm like, somebody's going to be so excited when they open that on Christmas morning.
Yeah, and it's so cool as well. We're seeing gifts not only just meant for children. We're seeing gifts from teenagers, women, and men, which is a category that we really needed some help with this season. So, Steph, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We're going to be here till 7 o'clock accepting donations right here at the Peggy Hill Team office on Huronia in Big Bay Point. Sarah.
Turning to business news now, affordability remains a top concern for the Liberal government, and some new numbers are outlining the current state of Canada's economy. The country's inflation rate remained steady in November, increasing by 2.2% on a year-over-year basis. That's unchanged from October. However, Statistics Canada says food prices hit a 2-year high last month. Meanwhile, the price of oil fell today, bringing down Canada's main stock index after the numbers already finished lower on Friday. Let's take a look at where they landed at the end of today. The TSX was down 43 points, the Dow was down 41, and the Nasdaq was down 137. Turning to commodities, oil was down, closing at $56.82 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $4,335 an ounce, and our dollar down, ending the day at 72.62 cents US. A number of groups in Orillia are benefiting from drivers getting parking tickets. It's back, the city's annual Toys for Tickets campaign. It lets residents pay parking tickets with new toys instead of cash. It raised over $2,600 this year and countless toys. These will now go to local organizations, including the Couchiching Jubilee House, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the Salvation Army. In downtown Orillia, the arts sign is now fully decked out for the season, adorned with cedar bows, sleighs, and even a Christmas tree. It was a community effort to make these letters at the Peter Street corner pop with a burst of jubilance. This is just one part of the city's downtown core that has been transformed in time for the holidays. Still to come, the CTV Barrie team, they've been hard at work. Let's go ahead and take a live shot from our Toy Mountain donation drive. We're right here in Barrie. Tonight we'll check back in with the team and let you know when the next time that we'll be live is. That's next. Here's a look at your Monday night primetime lineup. NFL football, Miami versus Pittsburgh starts at 8, and CTV News Barrie will air after the game wraps up shortly after 11 p.m. Welcome back, lads. What a wonderful way to start off the work week.
Yes, Sarah, we are here at the Peggy Hill Team office, wrapping up our Toy Mountain campaign for tonight. Not to worry, we will be at Zares just off of Essa Road tomorrow, and then Zares again on Bayfield Street on Thursday. So we can't wait for that. In case we have a special guest for our Get Up and Go forecast, Jason. So Jason, take it away.
Jason, what is the weather like at 7 o'clock tomorrow in Barrie?
It is
-11.
-11.
There you go. What about Newmarket?
And cloudy.
-11 and cloudy.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last one, Case?
And the last one's going to be all the way up in Gravenhurst at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. What are the conditions and what's the temperature? Jason?
-8 and cloudy and a chance of drizzle.
Oh, I like it. I mean, that's rough, but well done, Jason. Well done. Merry Christmas. And as Luke said, yes, indeed, back at Toy Mountain tomorrow. So maybe we'll see you there. Sarah?
I don't blame young Jason. With that tricky forecast, I'm not sure I'd want to share it either. Now, as you just mentioned, or as they just mentioned, we'll be back out on the road tomorrow. Here's a look at where you can find us. There's Essa on Bryan Drive from 4 until 7. So please do come on by, bring a donation, say hello to the CTV crew. Maybe you can help them with the weather forecast. We're always looking for that. Plus, our radio partners will be there as well. That is our newscast on this Monday night. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks so much for starting your week with us. Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Take care.